Belfast, following 2 entire years without a working government. Northern Ireland's parliament structures opened their entryways on Saturday and legislators got back to work, and one of their most memorable demonstrations was to name Sinn Féin's Michelle O'Neill as first pastor. O'Neill, 47, impacts the world forever as Northern Ireland's most memorable patriot pioneer, from a party that believes North and South should meet up, sometime in the not-so-distant future, as a solitary country. Entering the Incomparable Corridor beyond the gathering, O'Neill was the main legislator to be extolled. After her choice as first clergyman, she considered this a noteworthy day which addresses another daybreak. She added, "That such a day could at any point come would have been incomprehensible to my folks and grandparents' age." In prior comments to the Washington Post, O'Neill noticed that the rebuilding of government regards the outcome of the May 2022 political race, when Sinn Fein interestingly won the biggest portion of seats in the gathering and the option to hold the main clergyman work under Northern Ireland's fragile power-sharing arrangement. She has held up 2 years. Sinn Fein wins in Ireland, a triumph with enormous imagery. To the gathering, O'Neill underlined that she would be a first clergyman for all, including Unionists and Conservatives, Protestants and Catholics, the people who need a joined Ireland and the individuals who need to stay English until the end of time, close by a developing number in the centre ground. "To every one of you who are English and Unionist, your public personality, culture and customs are critical to me," O'Neill said in her most memorable discourse. "Not even one of us are being asked or expected to give up what our identity is. Our loyalties are similarly real. We should walk this two-way road and meet each other midway." Recently, Mary Lou MacDonald, Sinn Féin president and head of the resistance in Ireland, announced that Irish solidarity was inside contacting distance. O'Neill is by all accounts avoiding language appreciate that this week, and specialists say the possibility of a unified Ireland stays some way off, more a medium-term project than inescapable. The Incomparable lobby, adorned with pictures of past pioneers, large numbers of them Unionists, was filled on Saturday with writers and politicos. It had the vibe of a gathering after a long break. Important day, all concurred. In any case, there was likewise some protesting. Naomi Long, top of the coalition party, portrayed the 2-year suspension of the gathering as an egotistical game that bombed individuals. 2 years of babble was the manner by which Doug Beattie, of the non-boycotting Ulster Unionist Party put it. In any case, there is no question that the political scene of Northern Ireland is evolving. For a really long time, the Unionists have held the more noteworthy portion of the power here, gladly pronouncing Northern Ireland's status as one of the 4 countries of the unified realm, close by Britain, Scotland, and Ridges. It was the Unionists who boycotted the public authority for these beyond 2 years. Unmistakably, their problem was with post-Brexit exchange game plans. However, many individuals thought they likewise didn't have any desire to acknowledge Sinn Féin assuming a more predominant part. Thus, for 730 days, there was definitely not a working government at the Stormont bequest, the seat of force in Northern Ireland. No leader, no gathering, however administrators kept on drawing 66% of their compensations. The gift shop and the cafeteria stayed open. Schoolchildren visited. Yet, appointed government employees were passed on to keep the lights on, while staying away from any significant choices. 25 years after Great Friday arrangement, cold harmony wins in Northern Ireland. An advancement came recently, when Jeffrey Donaldson declared that his popularity-based Unionist Party, DUP, had worked out an agreement with top state leader Rishi Sunak's administration to change a portion of the exchange and customs game plans for merchandise crossing the Irish Ocean. The progressions are depicted by Brexit specialists as minor however vital to the Unionists, who have contended that requiring checks and customs statements splits apart Northern Ireland and the remainder of England while drawing the North more profound into an all-Ireland economy. Exchange wasn't an issue when England and Ireland were both piece of the European Association. Yet, with Brexit, moderators needed to figure out how to safeguard the honesty of the EU's market without making a noticeable boundary on the island of Ireland that could sabotage the Great Friday Non-Aggression Treaty, which finished 30 years of partisan and state viciousness known as the difficulties. Donaldson guaranteed a success with the current week's exchange changes, saying they would protect our place inside the association. The Great Friday arrangement, expedited to some extent by the U.S., introduced the advanced period of regressed power partaking in Northern Ireland. There is no champ bring home all the glory here today. How Bono carried harmony to Northern Ireland. Formally, there will be no distinction in power among O'Neill and the new agent first clergyman, Emma Little Pengelly of the DUP. They will be counterparts and co-pioneers. One might respectfully acknowledge a meeting world pioneer first, however they share obligations. However, one is known as a representative, and here that is important. Like with everything in Northern Ireland, having Michelle O'Neill as first pastor is for the most part representative, said Matthew O'Toole, an official in the gathering from the Social Majority Rule and Work Party. Then, at that point, he forewarned, being emblematic doesn't make it immaterial. Siobhra Aiken, a speaker at Sovereigns College Belfast, called O'Neill's assent to initially serve an ocean change. She expressed that with the parcel of the island in 1921, the framework of Northern Ireland was explicitly planned so this wouldn't occur. Northern Ireland was made to have a Ulster Protestant greater part. At the point when Martin McGuinness, a previous IRA pioneer turned peacemaker, turned into the primary delegate first pastor from Sinn Fein in 2007, it was entirely expected for Unionists to blame him for having a guilty conscience. Martin McGuinness, previous IRA leader turned legislator, kicks the bucket at 66. Presently, with decisions in the South 1 year from now, Aiken said, we could before long see Sinn Fein holding power in the two locales on this island. Belfast-based women's activist antiquarian Margaret Ward said this second was enormous with regards to Sinn Fein's development, as well as the advancement of government in Northern Ireland. At the point when I was growing up, Stormont was unessential, in light of the fact that it was a male, unionist and exceptionally working-class foundation that didn't have common individuals' inclinations on the most fundamental level, whether they were Catholics or Protestants, she said. Over a time of about 50 years, you could count the quantity of ladies participated in chosen office on two hands. O'Neill's ascent has been amazing. A Catholic from a rustic province, she was a mother at 16 and has spoken frequently of her hard-scrabble youth. Today she is smart speaker, with a long political history, and is all over virtual entertainment, and famous with youngsters needing selfies. She comes from a profoundly conservative family. Her dad was detained for IRA participation during the difficulties and later made the progress into legislative issues when he turned into a nearby Sinn Fein legislator. Her uncle was a leader of NORAID, a conservative raising money bunch dynamic in the U.S., which the U.S. government blamed for channeling cash to purchase IRA weapons. NORAID pioneers have rejected that. To Jim Allister, the sole individual from the administrative gathering from the conventional Unionist Voice Party, O'Neill hasn't adequately reduced most, if not all, connection with IRA brutality. In the wake of denouncing the current week's changed economic alliance by his kindred Unionists as only twist and publicity, he told the Post that he would get back to the gathering on Saturday, however that he went against the decision for first priest. Michelle O'Neill is a woman who told individuals of Northern Ireland that there was no option in contrast to the butchery and decimation of the IRA. She legitimizes those demonstrations, he said. So I think she is completely contemptible to hold this high office, or any fair office, assuming that she thinks it was correct and important to kill and to butcher blameless individuals. In 2022, O'Neill was gotten some information about the IRA savagery during the difficulties. I think no Irish individual at any point got up one morning and felt that contention was smart, however the conflict came to Ireland, she said. She proceeded, I think at the time there was no other option, yet presently, fortunately, we have a choice to struggle and that is the Great Friday Arrangement. On Saturday, in her discourse to the gathering, O'Neill said, I'm upset for every one of the lives lost during the contention. No matter what. She added, I won't ever request that anybody continue on, yet I truly do trust that we can push ahead. Alex Maskey, 72, resigned on Saturday in the wake of having filled in as Speaker of the Northern Ireland gathering beginning around 2020. He was additionally the main individual from Sinn Fein to act as ruler city chairman of Belfast, from 2002 to 2003. The imagery of Michelle O'Neill as the main conservative first pastor won't be lost on many individuals. For my purposes, that is something positive, Maskey said. Maskey said he actually desires to sometime or another live in a unified Ireland. I need to have the poise of my own political objective, and the power of my country, he said. I'm chipping away at the reason that I will see that introduced. Please do not forget to subscribe, click our notification bell, like and share and get our daily updates.